People keep asking what's the next book they need to read, and the answer is very simple. It's Storm of Secrets and Sorrow by Melissa K. Rorick.
In a world created for the descendants of gods, where the Fae are born to serve, a woman bound to the air of death fights fate and desire. Storm of Secrets and Sorrow is book 2 of the best-selling Book Talk sensation, a contemporary dark romantasy legacy series for fans of Sarah J. Maas, Kaylee Smith, and Rebecca Yarros.
The second I knew that this book had me was when I realized it had gods, dragons, shifters, vampires, and witches. It has it all for you.
It even has my favorite tropes like morally gray characters, meddling gods, forced proximity, touch her or him and die, one bed, one horse, he falls first, enemies with benefits, like you can't go wrong.
And everyone knows that it is fantastic because the first book was independently published back in 2023, and the series was a #1 Amazon bestseller with nearly 40,000 Goodread reviews and 16,000 Amazon reviews as of 2025. So you know it's grown even more.
And when it was published traditionally, it was an instant New York Times bestseller.
Make sure you get your copy today of Storms of Secrets and Sorrow. It has an incredible deluxe special edition with stenciled edges, a beautiful foil-stamped hardcover, exclusive design with illustrated end papers, and full-color character art.
You can find Storm of Secrets and Sorrow by Melissa K. Rorick wherever books are sold in print and in ebook.
I recently discovered 11 Reader because a fun fact about me that a lot of people don't know is that I have a reading disability. I have always struggled with reading and concentration, and when it comes to things like PDFs or things that I really need to focus on, 11 Reader has really come in handy.
The fact that I can upload my own content, I have so many business memos I have to read every day.
And then it reads it to you, and you get to choose the voice that reads it to you. You get to have a British accent reading those documents to you.
And I just retain so much more.
I really love the voices. Having a British accent whisper sweet nothings about legal documents to me keeps me going.
Start free with 10 hours of your own content per month. And that's essentially a 400-page book turned into audio for free.
Upgrade to Ultra for $11 a month and unlock unlimited uploads plus 20 hours of premium audiobooks every month. No credits, no commitments. It's really the ultimate listening app when you can't get enough. Being able to retain information is really hard for me when I'm reading certain difficult documents. And I really can't emphasize enough to you guys how much 11 Reader has helped me review so many things for the podcast.
Whether you're writing your own book, you have a lot of documents to go through, or you want to listen to audiobooks, choose 11 Reader and use promo code podcast to get your first 2 months for only $1.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, your besties with the literary podcast that deep dives into your favorite novels.
This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
Today, we're excited to interview Liz Shipton, who we had on the podcast earlier this year. She is the author of Magic and the newly released Mother and Slaughter.
Liz is a writer and off-grid live-aboard sailor who travels the high seas with her partner and dog. Her books explore themes adjacent to mental health, the loneliness epidemic, addiction, tech creep, climate change, and the looming collapse of society, but in a fun way. Welcome, Liz.
Welcome.
Hi. Hey. Thanks for having me. It's nice to be
Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm excited. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's not often we have an author back twice in the same year.
Especially so soon, yeah.
Like, as soon as I had talked to you guys, I emailed you. I think I was literally like, I know I just talked to you like yesterday.
It's exciting. I mean, we love to read another one of your books. But I also was confused for a sec because I thought it was the follow-up to Magic. So when I started, I was like, I don't think this is what I'm thinking that this is.
Apologies. Yeah. That one's coming though. So I'll just email you right after we're done with this and we can set.
I think about the hidden Chilean character a lot in that one.
I was just thinking about that as I was logging onto this because I was like, was that this podcast? Where we were
Yes, it was.
that?
Yes,
it was. Yeah.
This one. Yeah, I'm so excited that you're back and that we got to read another one of your books and to be able to discuss more because, boy golly, do you keep your books packed and full with some amazing things. And there's going to be some stuff that we'll get into, but I'll just go ahead and start because I was about to jump into question 2 and I'm like, no, we should do this in order. So it wouldn't be one of your books if it wasn't with some of the themes that you chose to talk about. And this book felt so intentional between the themes you wanted to look at and the topics you wanted to discuss. Was every one of those topics something you knew from the start you wanted to discuss, or did they come later and then you kind of layered atop of each other throughout the writing process?
Yeah, I think probably the latter / a little of both. Yeah, I think that the original idea for the book was was can I write a comedy about abortion? I don't actually know if I have done. But that was sort of the challenge, I guess, I set for myself. And originally I was going to set it in the modern day. And the intention was to have this character who you don't really love, who is not a super sympathetic character. And the original idea was that she was going to be forced to carry a pregnancy to term and then was so pissed off about that she went on a mission to assassinate a Supreme Court justice. And then I was like, that's maybe a little on the nose and people might think it's my manifesto or something. So I wanted to have a degree of separation. And then at the same time, I had this sort of dystopian idea kind of bubbling around in the background. I don't know. Have you guys seen Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah.
With Furiosa, where Charlize Theron is. In case you couldn't tell, I'm a big fan of it. And so I had sort of an idea for that kind of a thing at the same time. And then those two ideas kind of came together. And then the election happened in 2024. And at that point, it was it felt to me like abortion was going to be a really big deal. And then it kind of wasn't. It sort of almost got overshadowed by trans rights and immigration and all the other shit that's going on right now. And I kind of thought that was interesting how sort of the public discourse changed. And then I wanted to kind of reflect that in the book, and maybe also my sort of thinking changed as well as I started to sort of think more about these topics. And yeah, and I wanted to look at not just the topics, but also the rights, weird sort of obsession and how they all sort of play into each other and affect each other. And why? I guess I'm trying to get to in the book, why is the right so stupid about this?
Yeah.
Can I say that? I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're in a safe spot.
How
you're
are
in a safe
things,
space.
Great. How are all these things related? And one thing that I thought about a lot was how there's this push right now from guys like Musk and Vance, this birth rate decline obsession that they have, oh no, babies are going down, what are we going to do? And I always think about this thing that my mom said, because we're immigrants. I came to the United States when I was 9 years old, and my mom worked a lot of typical immigrant labor jobs when we got here. My mom always talks a lot about immigration and about how she's I don't know if this is necessarily the most politically correct thing to say, but she's if they're so worried about labor, why don't we just support immigration? Is my mom's kind of thing. And I think that sort of influenced a lot of what I had to sort of talk about in the book as well, which is there's these two things that just seem one is a solution and you guys are just not getting it so stupidly so
because it's not about generalized birth rate, it's about white.
They want the white ladies
rate.
having the babies.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It feels very much like men who refuse to adopt children because they're not their own DNA.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like well, you're not of my flesh and blood and therefore you're not good enough.
And then there's the Musk thing where it's a little bit are you just trying to sow your oats? Is it just I want to come on everything and make everything my child and my, yeah.
Although his ex, the mother of his last child, she is on TikTok and she is exposing everything. It's great.
Oh,
Yeah, she's kind of like, I mean, essentially, like, he got her pregnant when she was 22, and then her brain developed at 25, and then she was like, because she was a MAGA influencer since she was a teenager, and it's almost like their brain isn't done developing, and then you have one of the top right people, right as in right side, not the correct side, people come and, it's like, let's have a baby. And then now, so literally her brain developed and was like, wait a minute, am I on the wrong side here? And so now she's like working towards making amends. She was like, any money I get from sponsors will go to the Trevor Project. And she is just exposing everything about Musk and all them. So it's been pretty great.
I've been off TikTok for a while, so maybe I should get back on
You
there.
should look. Like, I do enjoy watching her stuff. But a lot of the things that she talks about is like what Musk is doing too, of like, just having to sow his oats and like prove something. And these are the type of men that these Joe Schmo guys are looking up to.
Yeah. The whole thing is pretty crazy.
Yeah, we're going to be heated this entire time. So like, take a breath now.
Okay, good. All right. That's great. Good to know.
I appreciate knowing. I think it makes you a little more human in my mind, Liz, in a like, makes me feel better about myself way. And that's meant to be a compliment. It did not sound like a compliment. But I find comfort in the fact that you had multiple ideas that kind of morphed and melded into what Mother and Slaughter is, versus you sitting down and be like, I want to write a comedy about abortion that involves magic. And I know every metaphor that I'm going to include in this story. Because I feel like that's what you did with /magic. And I was like, it was too brilliant. It's too much.
No, I mean, that's the thing that's like so great about writing is like, I usually have a pretty clear idea of like where I'm going, but so much of the like intricacies of like themes and that kind of thing, and like how the characters sort of react to each other and play off each other, and these little like moments that you find, all of that comes as you're writing. And that's kind of what is so great about it. Like, that's the part that I really love, is when you discover that thing and you're like, oh, this ties into this other thing. And now I can
that's the attitude I need to develop. I'm always like, wait, but I have an idea. Why can't I just stick to the idea?
Yeah. I usually find that it's better, or I think it's better. I don't know. You could look at Mother and Slaughter and you could look at /magic and be like, they're kind of a mess. There's a lot going on. There's too much, honestly, going on, right? And like, maybe some things could have been cut, but I don't know. That's just not what I am doing, I guess. And I'm kind of, at this point, I'm just writing for me. And I'm at a point where I'm just like, if I like
you have
it,
to.
It's going in.
Yeah. Dare I say, I don't think that there was a lot. Like, I wasn't overwhelmed by Mother and Slaughter. Like, there wasn't a lot going on. Honestly, I think you could have layered in more.
Oh, all right.
I thought it was great. So this is, as we've mentioned, the second book of yours that we've read, Liz. And now I think we can officially dub this type of writing as a Liz ending. Like, you've got a special signature type of ending that you brought into Mother and Slaughter that felt very similar in good ways to /magic. Since you knew kind of where this was going, did the ending of Mother and Slaughter go the way you originally planned, or do you feel like it morphed just as much as the story morphed over time?
Am I allowed to say spoilers, or are we not?
Yeah.
I think so, because when we did /magic, we were like, guys, this ending is just so, it's worth every single second. But I think that this makes sense.
I think this will encourage people to read.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I would say, like, thematically, a lot of the stuff in the ending came into it as I was writing. Like I was just talking about, kind of tying all the things together in the speech that Recknaw/Trump gives in like that second to last chapter. I rewrote that, I mean, over and over and over and over and over again, to get not just the voice, but also to have like it sounds really funny, to try and make the sound cohesive, like to make
you
it
did
sound
a
like
great
there was
job.
Actually, like there is a master plan, which I don't think there is, but Yeah. So that definitely came together over many, many iterations. The actual ending with the sword going up the butt, that was not actually planned. I actually remember vividly writing it because, so my aunt passed away last year. I went to help my mom take care of the house and stuff in England. And I was writing the ending of this book at that time. And I just remember vividly sitting on my aunt's couch in her living room, getting to that moment and being like, and then the sword goes in. And I was like, yeah! So happy that I thought of that. And then went running into the kitchen to tell my mom, Mom, the end of this book is just, it's going to be so great. And my mom's like, okay, cool.
It was cathartic. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Because there was one point where they have the Trump-like character and they're just like, what are we going to do? Who's going to be the one to do it? And I was listening to it and I'm like, I don't see any problem with this. And then, so then when you got the sword up the ass, I was like, yeah, you know what? This was a fitting ending. And
that's good. I'm glad.
We promise this is important. Capitalism, but make it brief. It has now reached a point that if I don't have my Vionics with me, any of my Vionics with me on a trip, I know that trip is ruined.
My Vionic shoes are my go-to no matter what I'm doing. I just got this City Walk sneaker in black leather and suede, and I cannot tell you how many compliments I've gotten. They are so cute and so comfortable.
So cute. We wore them to a market and you were so mad that it got dusty and dirty and you went home and took care of them. That's how much you love your Vionics.
I've done that to all 3 pairs of my Vionics. As soon as there's a little mark on them, I go home, I wash them because they are perfect.
To add to my Vionic collection, I have the Larissa flats. And unlike the flats that we grew up with that absolutely destroyed my feet, Vionic shoes are powered by VioMotion technology to balance the whole you. Larissa is a contemporary wedged flat that blends modern style with effortless comfort. I tell ya, and my feet are able to withstand walking in them.
And I love the little square toe that they have. I'm a big fan of square toes. What's great about the City Walk sneaker and the Larissa flat, they're great for summer, they're great for fall. Honestly, you can get away with them all year round. Even better, Vionic Shoes offers a 30-day guarantee. Wear them, love them, or return them. Why would you? But you get a full refund within 30 days if you do.
Use code BOOKTALK at checkout for 15% off your entire order at VionicShoes.com when you log into your account. It's a one-time use only.
Vionic Shoes, wearable well-being for your feet. It was also the thing I thought of immediately was the rumor from last year that he keeps having bowel movements in public because someone shoved something up his ass, and right?
You know that one, right? Yeah, that's the whole point.
I haven't actually. No, I haven't.
Oh, I thought you knew exactly. Okay, so
no, I just literally was like, let's put a sword up the president's butt.
Oh my God.
Okay, so from his apprentice days, there is a person who was worked on set who came out and said he is incontinent, he shits himself. He shits himself all the time. And people were
I wish I had known this. God damn it.
No, it's even better.
Yeah. And they're like, it's because he did so much cocaine and that's why, it happens. But there is, I can't believe I forgot their name. There's an individual who came out, now go by they, them, I believe. But when they were a young child, they were a boy. I don't know. I'm not saying this correctly, but when they were young, they were sold off. And this is the story that they put out and they claim. And a lot of people believe, a lot of people, question. To me, I'm like, after everything that's come out, I'm just like, listen to these survivors. But they claim at one point, they literally kicked this thing up Trump's ass. And that's the reason why he shits himself. So it somehow, you just knew.
You just knew. The wavelengths.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's just something about that guy that makes you want to shove something up his butt.
It's so true, though. It's so true.
Well, I have to say, you nailed it.
Oh, good. That's good to hear.
Is it Rekna?
Yeah.
Which sounds lovely because it sounds so close to rectum.
Yeah.
I think it's very appropriate.
Well, so Rekna is actually just wanker backwards. I'm not sure if you guys caught that. That's really all that is. And then the other two guys, I forget. I don't think I can even pronounce them. I have to read the audiobook soon, and there's two names in there that I don't even think I can pronounce because they're just dickbag and cum guzzler backwards. Those are the other two
God.
names of the members of the Frow. And it's the kind of thing where it's like so stupidly obvious to me, but I've had readers be like, I didn't get it until like literally the very end.
That's
good.
freaking hilarious. I love this so much.
Funny. That's so funny.
This is what I mean. I'm like, this is a Liz book. Like the ending goes off the wall, but I'm laughing at the same time. And I'm just like, what is happening? But also I'm not mad at it at all, but it's just one of those. And so now we were talking about the names. I'm like, this is so on brand. I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like one thing I was trying to do, I guess, with this book is like, because it's crass, right? Like a lot of it is pretty crass. There's a lot of bad language. There's a lot of like dick jokes and jizz jokes and it's like getting a sword up the butt and all this other stuff. And I think like I did this intentionally. Also, the book itself, like it's not super subtle, right? Like it's not very nuanced in like a lot of the themes that it's presenting. This is like, honestly, the trans character, it's like trans 101. It's like the characters are literally kind of talking to each other about talking points in like almost like a Quentin Tarantino way where, you know, he has his characters just like sit down in a cafe and like say all the things that Quentin Tarantino has obviously been thinking about for you know, however long before he made this movie. And I did that intentionally because I get so mad at how just dumb Trump is and like how just and him and and all the guys around him, honestly. How stupid, like that guy, the administration, the right, everything they're doing. And then over on the other side, you've got the Democrats and the left or whoever being like, well, we're going to take the high road and we're going to, you know, focus on love and peace. And like, that's great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But sometimes I'm just like, no, fuck the high road. I want to write a crass, dumb, blunt book that is the same level, like that stoops to their level, basically, I guess. Is kind of what I was going for.
I mean, I think you're too intelligent to stoop to their, like, it's like, even as you're trying to stoop to their level, it's still far smarter than anything that they would.
I also think that, like, some of the humor in this is the kind of humor you might see in an old Will Ferrell movie. And quite frankly, if those men get to make a living off of being that kind of crass, why can't a woman be that kind of crass and make a living off of it too?
I'm going to think about jizzing out a window.
That actually, so there's a movie, oh God, what's it called? Baby Mama, maybe? That came out around the same time. I would have to Google it.
Oh, is it
at the same time?
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler?
No. Oh God, I can't remember either of the actresses' names. It's similar to what happens to Eleanor, basically. So one of the characters already has a kid. The other character has sort of been like, nah, I don't really want them. And then she gets pregnant on like a one night stand with a guy who, I'm remembering it now. Okay, so they get together and she basically is like, I'm on my period, so it should be fine, right?
Yeah.
They have sex, she gets pregnant, and then he dies in a tragic accident. I can't remember exactly how. So she's like stuck raising this baby, having the pregnancy alone. But like the way that they show pregnancy in that film is so just like bonkers. Like she's just shooting milk out of her tits and she's like getting horny looking at the Captain on the Captain Crunch cereal box. Like just very real kind of like portrayal of like pregnancy and women's friendship. And so that was a huge influence on me in that movie. And it's the same thing about what you were saying about Will Ferrell. It was like, why can't we also do that?
So with the crassness, but also with like kind of going back to some of the topics that you're discussing and, you know, with abortion and trans rights and immigration and white privilege and all of it, what is it about the fantasy genre that you think lends itself to be able to discuss this topic? And I don't know if I want to say freely, but like there is a certain level of like freedom to it where there is that, like you were saying, being removed. Is that something that you feel like fantasy is great at?
Yeah. I mean, so on the one hand, there's definitely that. You can have sort of a degree of separation and you can also take things to like extremes. Whereas like if this was set in the real world, you kind of would have to have it be a little bit more realistic. Whereas like if it's set in a bonkers fantasy world, you can do anything really, you know, like you can go off the wall, you can have the whole city uprise and start chopping all the dudes' dicks off. And, you know, so there's that. There's also, I think, an element of like, it's kind of the other side of that coin, which is that when you see our world reflected in that world, it sort of makes you think like, oh, shit. So, yeah, this is literally a medieval Dark Ages world called Draconia, and we're there.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the other side of that coin, where it's like, yeah, you are kind of removed from it, but then you're also not removed from it at all when you actually look at the mirror, I guess.
Yeah, it's almost, I wouldn't say shaming, but I'm going to say shaming in a way of just like as advanced as we think we are, we're not much better than we were 400 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely are. So like, you know, not as many women are dying in childbirth. I certainly would not want to go back to a time with no vaccinations and no science, which is another kind of thing that, you know, I'm touching on in the book. But yeah, at the, like, I don't know, at the heart of every human, I think is this sort of like dark versus light, eternal struggle.
Yeah.
That, just is eons old.
Yeah. I hate quoting this because we do not support J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter was very influential, unfortunately, but there was like one of those quotes that like stuck with me was like, you have to choose between what's right and what's easy. And that's like, again, for someone who ended up being what she ended up being, it's crazy to me because like that was just one of those moments of like, I think people just choose what's easy. And in my heart, I like to imagine that people are not inherently evil and bad, although the daily, it makes me question that. But like it just kind of goes into selfish comfort and where it goes back down to that. And I think, you know, you do a great job of showing selfish comfort in this world.
Or I mean, just sort of complacency, I guess. And like, it's hard because it's like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like I get mad sometimes at like, you know, so like, for example, this book is not going to go like viral on Book Talk probably because it's high friction and it's not like the type of like romantasy thing. And I get mad sometimes. I'm like, oh, why do people want to read to only escapists? But like, of course they do, you know, like I get it. So it's so hard.
I think you did a good balance between escapist, though, and reality, I have to say. Like, I didn't dread coming back to this every time I would, like, come back to reading it. There was never a moment of, like, okay, I have to get through this book. It was genuinely enjoyable.
I do worry about that. I actually don't know. Like, I still, because the book hasn't even come out yet, so I have no idea. Like, I'm like, I like it, but who knows?
I like it, and I had a great time with it, partially because I, in some ways, identified with Eleanor. Like the whole, and this was a tough topic that I really identified with. You know, Eleanor does not want to have a child, wants to have an abortion. Roz can't have children, is jealous and is pissed and doesn't understand why Eleanor would have an abortion. I'm on Eleanor's side. Like her argument about why not having a child, I'm like, that is my argument for not having children.
Right,
and also like, I'm going to fuck them up. I got fucked up by my parents. I'm going to fuck up children too. That's just the cycle, right? So I was very engaged in the topics you were tackling in the book. I appreciated that Eleanor's redeeming quality was she didn't think twice about Sam's gender, where Roz struggled. And I wanted Eleanor and Ben to be together. I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah, and I don't think you like dismissed those things. And I will say from the other side, I am someone who does want kids. Hopefully it won't be hard for me. I don't know. But I am someone who does want kids. So when they have that conversation of like, why do you not want to have kids versus why do you want to have kids? I never felt like you were making a point that one is right and one is wrong. You know, everyone has their reasons. It's just up to the freaking individual, the woman, of what they want to do with the, like, you know, having kids or not having kids. But I thought it was all handled very well. And again, it was still a good level of escapism. Ben was incredible. I'm not going to lie. Like,
oh, yay.
I really enjoyed Ben and like just his everything and like the banter. Like you still got that, you still got a book boyfriend out of this. Like for, you know, you're not like writing the typical romantasy. I think you wrote one of the better book boyfriends I've read. Yeah.
Oh, great. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Before we spiral,
ads.
I always forget how long summer is in California, and all of my work clothes are geared towards fall, winter. I need more summer appropriate staples.
I'm going to be going to Portugal at the end of the summer, and I need Quince to help me with summer vacation clothes because they have literally everything.
They make elevated essentials using premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, which is my personal favorite, without the traditional retail markup.
They also have amazing shoes. I got their ballerina Mary Jane flats in brown, and I will be walking Portugal in that the entire time. They are so comfortable.
I also recently discovered that they have really fabulous 14 karat gold jewelry. Everything is subtle, delicate, and just classy. Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands because they work with ethical factories and cut out the middlemen. So you're paying for exceptional quality, not brand markup.
Quince has everything you need, from apparel to home to bedding to bath and all of the kitchen essentials and furniture. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier.
Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365 days returns. Now available in Canada too.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/booktalk. One of the first things I do when I move was I needed to get new sheets. I needed that restart in my bedroom. And that's why I go to Boll & Branch, for their variety and their quality.
Boll & Branch not only has your sheets, but they have everything you need. They have their signature satin sheets, breathable pillows, cozy waffle bed blankets, and beautifully crafted comforter, all designed to work together for comfort and temperature regulation. I always start the night off freezing, then I get hot, and then I get cold again. But ever since I've switched to Boll & Branch, I have been so comfortable every single night.
When Jack and I recently went to New York, I put my Boll & Branch sheets on the bed so that when our friends who watched our cats came over, they could lay in those sheets. And I got so many compliments about the quality and the breathability of the fabric. They definitely asked me where I got them.
I get complimented every single time I have a meeting for work and you can see my bed in the background, and everyone always says how pretty it is, how stylish my room looks. I am not a stylish person, and yet Boll & Branch is making me look like I have my life together.
What's even better is that their signature organic cotton sheets get softer the more you wash them.
It makes me excited for laundry day. Upgrade your sleep with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com/booktalk with code BOOKTALK.
That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, and use code BOOKTALK to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply.
So that's kind of funny, like because we were talking about like why set this in a fantasy world. Honestly, part of it was I was like, maybe I can get to the Girls on Book Talk. Like maybe I can have that like romantasy element. Also, I was like very much steeped in that world when I was writing this. Yeah, I do sort of think that like Ben and Eleanor's banter is sort of what keeps the book, like it keeps you wanting to come back, right? Yeah. It's what keeps it lighthearted. It's what kind of keeps it moving along and makes it enjoyable. And I think without that, it would be a lot of like, oh God, this is heavy going.
It's all balance.
Yeah. And they provide much needed comic relief because Ben is a little over the top with his charm, but you eat it up just as much as Ellie eats it up and doesn't want to admit to it. So yeah, I think you do a great job.
Well, thank you.
Kind of dovetailing off of that, another hard topic that you touch on are the experiences of women and how they might differ based on race. And as we kind of already mentioned, the different treatment of trans individuals. Someone who loves life and wants kids may still struggle with someone trying to find themselves as much as Roz is trying to find herself. So how much did you draw on your own experience, the experience of those around you, or versus just public discourse on these topics as tools to inform the conversations that were taking place in the book?
Yeah. So Eleanor is just me, obviously. all of her, like, that whole conversation she has with Roz, everything she says I was honestly partly why I wrote the book. I was like, I just want to write all these things down. This is how I feel about having kids, and I'd like to put it out there into the discourse and have that be a thing. At the same time, for the last, like, probably 3-ish years or so, have been doing a lot of questioning and soul searching of my own identity when it comes to gender. It started out because basically the first book I ever wrote, Salt, I wanted to put a non-binary character in the book because I was like, these are the people that are in the world. I would like to reflect the world in my books. But I was like, I don't really know anything about non-binary people. So I guess I better get on Reddit and start researching and get into some communities. And the more I did that, the more I was like, oh, is this me? And then that kind of like, that plus a lot of other things that are kind of all come together around the same time have led to me doing a lot of sort of that questioning. Mm-hmm. So the like trans rights issues are things that are very top of mind to me and that I think about a lot. And yeah, a lot of it is informed by public discourse. Certainly, I watch John Oliver every week. I watch, The Daily Show, and I'm getting the newsletters emailed to my inbox and trying to keep up with everything. Although once I finished this book, I did have to step back from like a lot of it for a long time because I just couldn't really absorb any more of it. And then as far as Roz goes, like it's very much not my experience at all. So the speech she does, I don't even know if I should say this because I don't know if it makes me sound good or bad, but I guess I'll just say it. So the speech she gives where she talks about how angry she is about not being able to conceive, like that frustration that I really wanted to capture. That was actually just me venting my own frustration at like the publishing industry and the book market. So for the last like couple of years, I have been really struggling to get my work to like a wider audience. And I've been like in a very deep depression about it for like a long time. I recently got on meds, so I'm doing much better. But
welcome to Team Meds. You're on Team Meds here.
You're in good company.
Okay, meds. Yeah. So that whole speech, I just wanted to capture that feeling that I was having of being of wanting something so badly. And I think that's why Sam and Roz are like such great foils because they want the same thing, right? You want something so badly and it just isn't happening for you. Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted to capture that like very specific frustration in Roz's speech. And while I don't, I have not had any experience in trying to conceive, and so I have no idea what it really is like. That was something that I sort of connected to in my own life because I think to me, my work is that important. That kind of like motivating, driving thing for me.
I mean, I think we all relate to that, right? The thing that like there's something that we want that we're working towards and for whatever reason, we're not getting there. And, we're fed this story of if you work hard enough, if you just keep trying, if you just keep working, like it's some kind of related to ourselves, right? Like as if we're the problem in some form or another when like we're not. And that feels like a very universal feeling.
Yeah. And thank you for being vulnerable because that is, I know, a tough topic. And I think Jack and I can sympathize on that level too with our own writing. But what I think you did really well writing Roz's frustration is, even though you maybe don't have her exact experience of struggling to conceive and wanting to have children, it did sound to me, who someone doesn't want children, it did feel very akin to my sisters-in-law who have had difficulty getting pregnant and people I do know who want to conceive and have had difficulty over the years. It's not something I understand on that level, but I do understand it from I want to write and put work out there and I know I have something important to say, but no one's listening. I get it on that level. So I think you did a great job kind of appealing to what was internal to you, but also the reality that other women might be experiencing.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to hear. That is kind of a lot of what the book was about, right? It's sort of like trying to anchor others' experiences to your own, like finding a way to connect. So like Eleanor is able to sort of connect with Sam because Sam says, like, it feels like there's something inside me that isn't supposed to be there. And Eleanor's like, oh, like this baby I'm carrying around. So I like that was something I was trying to sort of do a lot with the book was like sort of show how you can anchor your experiences to others' experiences and kind of build empathy that way.
Yeah. I think you do a great job.
Absolutely. One thing that I know is I feel like a very popular topic and sometimes hard to have empathy for is the male loneliness epidemic. It's one of those moments where it's like, you did it to yourself. I don't know. Like, it's so easy. You can stop being lonely at any given point. Just stop being an asshole.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I get annoyed by the term male loneliness epidemic because I'm a female and I'm very lonely. I live on a boat. I have my partner, thank God, and I have like a nice family thousands of miles away. But like I, throughout my whole life, have really struggled to make friends with anyone, really, and like hold on to friends. So I get a little bit annoyed. Can we call it like the non-binary loneliness epidemic?
Yeah,
Can we just call it the loneliness epidemic? Because I think women are also struggling with this, probably. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
It claims an experience that men, like, you know, that once again, like it's their experience, when it's kind of like
universal.
I wish there was a different word for it, because it's like there's an actual loneliness epidemic that, you know, technology and not having a third place and not having a welcoming just mentality for everyone. Like, that's the true loneliness epidemic. What these dirtbags are going through are like the patriarchy and a ripple effect of that. In my mind, a certain unwillingness now. I get into big like discussions with my friend and, you know, it's like I have like a much more harsh attitude with it, but she talks about like there's a lot more issues with race and socioeconomics that goes with it. So I was like, you know, it's easy for me to be like, screw these men. However, back to the question. I think one of the best things that you have done is showing how men benefit and are harmed by the patriarchy, because you have a fantastic metaphor in here of, again, a very broad statement of, quote, the patriarchy, which, again, is a very broad overarching thing. But I really, really loved how that you showed like men both benefit and are harmed by this, but you also don't do it in a way that excuses any of their actions. And I truly believe this is the first time that I've seen this and read it in a book that I feel like has such an accurate depiction of you're benefiting, you're hurting, it's not an excuse. And why was it important that you included this? I mean, if you knew that you were going to include it, because sometimes, you know, like you're writing and then, you know, it comes up. And how did it weigh against the other topics in your mind? Because again, it had a percentage there, but it definitely wasn't the main percentage.
Right. I would say, again, I'm going to say something that I'm not sure. Maybe it'll get me canceled. I like white men. I have been around them my whole life. I've been primarily have been grown up in like male dominated spaces. I was in music for a long time. I played drums. I played mostly with dudes. And then I went into software and I was mostly with dudes there. So I strive. I mean, I try to do this for all my characters, but I strive to write male characters that feel real and feel actually representative of the men that I have known. Because like personally, and I am very, very privileged to be able to say this, like I have not had a lot of terribly negative experiences with men. And so it is important to me to put that out there, particularly in like a female-led fantasy book, which I feel like sometimes can edge a little bit into like men are evil and we hate them and they're always the bad guy. It was important to me to kind of show that, just like that balance. But then, like you said, at the same time, it's not Ben's story. He's a man of nearly 40 and he should probably just sort of man up. I don't know. Like, that's not really the right word for it. But my goal was to keep the book from straying into territory of like, let's just chop all the men's dicks off, which, yes, we do. And it's very fun. But like, hopefully there's a little more nuance to it than that, which is that like, we're not going to chop all the men's dicks off. We're just going to chop off like Vance and Trump's and, you know, those guys' dicks, because hashtag not all men or, you know, whatever. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I understand. I mean, I hope that, you know, most women have a man in their life that they're like, that's a good guy. And that is the dichotomy of men, right? Like that's, you know, there's a balance and everything. But to say that there isn't a certain level of privilege going on and there isn't again, I do think you show it all very, very well.
Yeah. And then like also, I mean, like Eleanor, for example, is kind of privileged in that way too. And she's in a bubble with her gladiators. She doesn't really interact with any men. She never had to go through trying to become a mother or any of that. Yeah. And that is sort of all peeled away for her.
You show the different degrees of privilege Yeah.
Right.
You do a great job of showing like, here are all the variations of privilege. And I like it, but it's never shamed, like no one chooses to be born into the privilege like that they get. It's just a matter of what you do with it once you've come to the realization that you have that privilege.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love talking to you guys. You make me feel so smart.
You wrote this. You wrote it. Wow. What a moment. What an episode. Anyway, here's some ads.
And we're live on match day as Doug reaches for a buffalo wing. He's got it! Oh, and he's gone for a can of Pepsi too! What a finish! There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi.
What's that, bud? The Lincoln Summer Sales event is on now with exclusive offers? Oh, so you want to feel the wind pouring through the available open panoramic vista roof on a road trip? And spend the afternoon beachside hanging out on the back of the spacious Lincoln Splitgate? Okay, I'll schedule a Lincoln test drive today, right before your vet appointment. Visit your local Lincoln retailer or learn more at Lincoln.com.
So for our last question, going back to Eleanor, as an FMC, she can be perceived as rejecting a lot of what would be considered feminine norms, feminine traits, and that makes her different from a lot of FMCs in romantasy novels. What was it like for you? And I know you've already said that Eleanor is you, but knowing that you were kind of entrenched in romantasy while writing this and choosing to write an FMC that isn't the feminine norm, I think it will appeal to a lot of other people who don't feel like they identify as the feminine norm. Was that intentional with Eleanor?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I've been kind of advertising this book on TikTok as like, hey, are you tired of the 19-year-old princess vibe? Go come check out this 35-year-old one-armed ball. So yeah, I was definitely trying to like do something different. And also like I had never, I'm sure there's out. I'm not trying to claim that I'm like the only person who's ever written a female character like this, but I haven't seen a ton of female characters in fantasy books with like shaved heads and who weigh hundreds of pounds and are solid muscle.
Not the main female character. That's the thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm even reading a book that has the strong shaved female, and it's always the captain of the guard who is the side character that we never get into.
Right. And so, yeah, I definitely did want to sort of, I guess, see myself represented a little bit and other people who maybe are a bit more like me, especially after spending so much time on Book Talk where the aesthetic is very female, at least in the kind of the romantasy and romance area of Book Talk. And obviously, there are lots of different, this is something I was thinking about a lot during writing the book, right? There are lots of different ways to be a woman. There are lots of different degrees of femininity and ways to express it and all that kind of stuff. And I do sometimes wonder or worry that like my particular brand of feminism is like a little bit old school. Like Eleanor is like a little bit old school and like the, hey, I kick ass and I am like one of the guys. Like that's not really how we do feminism anymore. Now we're more like, you can be a woman however you want to, which is great. But let's not lose that heart of feminism because like I still identify that way a little bit. So like, I don't know. I get a little bit annoyed by the like people who shit on women who say like, I'm not like other girls. It's like some of us really aren't actually. And it can be very lonely. And I sometimes want to just be like, hey, I understand what you're saying about how great it is to be feminine and how to like be strong and own that and own and be sexy and long haired and cottagecore and all that stuff. Like, great. But also we're over here as well. And yeah.
I'm really happy that you have Eleanor and that you have this representation of a woman who, if you want to call it old school feminism or just like, the kick-ass. And I would like to provide a reading experience because I am someone who I love dresses. I do the long hair. People would describe me as very girly. However, I also weightlift 5 times a week. I'm 5'8". I'm not like a little petite girl. I did MMA for 4 years back in college. So it's a lot of these other things that like I wear t-shirt and shorts because I'm lazy most days and I'm comfortable in it. But I also love getting dressed up. So it was very nice when I read that Eleanor put up a fight and weighed almost as much as Ben. It hit something in me. As someone who is not a petite individual who has always weighed equal, if not more, than her boyfriends, it was a very refreshing moment because, I think sometimes, not all the times, but maybe some of this like cottagecore, this ultra hyper feminine, which again, everyone can do whatever they want, is performative to an extent, right? Because it's all for the aesthetics, because I like looking at pretty things. I like looking at these like really nice and aesthetic things. So of course, if a woman realizes, oh, I get views when I wear this really pretty dress, because of course I want the really pretty dress, then that's what you're going to get. But it's social media. We can't believe everything we see. So everything is skewing to this like really aesthetic, beautiful vibe. Is that really what they're living on a daily? Because like, I certainly know I'm not. So it was just so you know, from a different reading experience where it's like, there's something about when I read a book of a woman of like the main FMC and she's like, I'm wearing pants because I'm not just girly. Like, and it's like, that just doesn't do it enough for me, because it's like, well, pants are comfy sometimes. Yes. Like that doesn't do anything. Reading a woman who weighs just as much and is strong, that did something for me.
Oh, yeah. Good. That's great. I'm really, yeah.
And I hear what you're saying in terms of like, I'm not like other girls is not a pick-me attitude for every woman who has that experience or who feels that way or says it. I mean, there's probably 4 billion different females, maybe more on this planet. Like, there's no way any of us can be homogenous. The idea of homogeny is an artificial construct fed to us through media. And so we're all going to feel othered by what media has told us, right? We're going to feel lonely because we feel like we don't fit what media has told us. And so I hear what you're saying in terms of like, it's not invalid to say, I'm not like other girls because other girls don't exist. The other girl is a construct.
Right.
Whether it's what we've created in our own brain, what society's created for us, etc. So I understand that. And I'm empathetic to that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the like topic of sort of female friendship and the way that women are often pitted against each other in that way was obviously a big part of the book. Like they're literally killing each other. And then Roz and Eleanor even are fighting like right up until the bitter end. Literally, Eleanor nearly kills her. Yeah, that was definitely something I was exploring. And also, side note, didn't realize until about halfway through the book that I was like, oh, Eleanor's job is slaughtering other women in a very public forum. And that's kind of what I've been doing on social media with my videos for the last like 3 years, like my little women writing men like wiggly finger videos. And that was kind of like, no one really calls me out on that. I don't get angry comments from women saying like, oh, you're shitting on female authors. Most people take it in the spirit in which they are intended, which is, hey, all of this is kind of silly and like, let's laugh at it together.
Yeah.
But every time I put up a video, I do kind of now have that like fear of like, I really hope that like people don't take this the wrong way and think that I'm just trying to like shit all over women. Because that was definitely something I kind of almost just came to the realization while I was writing the book. I was like, oh my God, this is literally me in subconscious ways that I didn't even really think about when I was starting.
I mean, talk about the acrobats that like we as women have to do, the acrobatics, right? Like we want to kind of poke fun at what we're seeing and everything that's going on. And, like the ongoing joke of like, this like 5 foot nothing girl picks up a sword and suddenly she's taking on, 500-year warriors. And, we want to be able to do that. But at the same time, we don't want it to be diminishing other women or diminishing the work because authors do great work and there's great metaphors and there's great like messaging. A lot of these times, like some of these popular books have like great commentary about colonialism, but like colonization. But no one talks about the colonization aspect because we're looking at the book boyfriend aspect. But at the same time, we have to celebrate the book boyfriend aspect because this is a safe spot for women to celebrate their sexuality. But God forbid, we also can't celebrate our sexuality too much because then we're objectifying men in a way that's too much. And, now men can't have a, is this what you expect from me type of thing? And it's just like the acrobatics that we have to do to survive. It's like, it's hard. It's very hard. And it's nice that we're self-aware. I hear what you're saying. And, I'm happy to see like the self-awareness, but at the same time, it's like so hard because I feel like we're all self-aware, but then like sometimes people are not self-aware at all. And then they don't understand the internet. And yeah, it's just an interesting thing that we as a society have to work through. And there's no winning sometimes. We just kind of have to roll with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's also a theme that I was kind of like touching on at the end of the book as well, which is like, there's not really an answer to any of this. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
Like, the cycle just continues and I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
So, the end. And they all lived happily ever after.
It's just an evolving conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine to have evolving conversations. I think it's fine to kind of say, hey, like, there's this problem, like, let's address it, or like, let's keep going. And once that's resolved, there's going to be another one and there's going to be another one. But, like just not being afraid to have it and having someone just sit there, like, I'm going to be thinking about you being like, hey, I wanted to write a funny book about abortion. I think that's freaking hilarious. And we need more moments like that of like, let's have the levity in these conversations. Like, it could be heavy, it could be fun, and that's humanity, right?
Right. And it just makes the hard conversations palatable, right? Because the worst thing we can do is not have the conversations, because that's how we perpetuate harm. By having the conversations and being committed to the conversations, even when there are no answers, means that we're paying attention. And I think that's what's most important. Otherwise, things do feel hopeless. We're never going to solve the problems, but at least we're trying to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we did end on a hopeful note. So that's... Well, thank you so much for joining us. Loved reading another one of your books. It just was so much fun. And I'm still waiting for ./Magic book 2. I'm very excited about that one. And again, I can't wait to see what your brain does. It's a joy. It's a true joy. And I feel like stepping into one of your books is stepping into your brain. And I really like being there. It's a good time.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't. So that's
hey, medication, it's going to be
medication.
Great.
Hooray.
Yeah. Big fan of it here. But it's, so yeah, thank you so much. And, can't wait to have you again.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It truly is like such an honor and a privilege and a joy to talk about my work in like this amount of depth. And like, you guys ask such great questions and read so deeply. And it's really, really a special privilege for me to come here.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the special episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy.
If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps other readers find us. And of course, we'd love to hear what you thought of today's episode. Share your comments through our forum at booktalkforbooktalk.com, and we might feature your feedback in a future mini episode or Patreon exclusive episode.
For merch and more ways to support the show, head to booktalkforbooktalk.com. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at the handle Book Talk for Book Talk. Bye.
Bye. I always forget how long summer is in California, and all of my work clothes are geared towards fall, winter. I need more summer appropriate staples.
I'm going to be going to Portugal at the end of the summer, and I need Quince to help me with summer vacation clothes because they have literally everything.
They make elevated essentials using premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, which is my personal favorite, without the traditional retail markup.
They also have amazing shoes. I got their ballerina Mary Jane flats in brown, and I will be walking Portugal in that the entire time. They are so comfortable.
I also recently discovered that they have really fabulous 14-karat gold jewelry. Everything is subtle, delicate, and just classy. Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands because they work with ethical factories and cut out the middlemen. So you're paying for exceptional quality, not brand markup.
Quince has everything you need, from apparel to home to bedding to bath and all of the kitchen essentials and furniture. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier.
Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/booktalk. One of the first things I do when I move was I needed to get new sheets. I needed that restart in my bedroom. And that's why I go to Boll & Branch, for their variety and their quality.
Boll & Branch not only has your sheets, but they have everything you need. They have their signature satin sheets, breathable pillows, cozy waffle bed blankets, and beautifully crafted comforter, all designed to work together for comfort and temperature regulation. I always start the night off freezing, then I get hot, and then I get cold again. But ever since I've switched to Boll & Branch, I have been so comfortable every single night.
When Jack and I recently went to New York, I put my Boll & Branch sheets on the bed so that when our friends who watched our cats came over, they could lay in those sheets. And I got so many compliments about the quality and the breathability of the fabric. They definitely asked me where I got them.
I get complimented every single time I have a meeting for work and you can see my bed in the background, and everyone always says how pretty it is, how stylish my room looks. I am not a stylish person, and yet Boll & Branch is making me look like I have my life together.
What's even better is that their signature organic cotton sheets get softer the more you wash them.
It makes me excited for laundry day. Upgrade your sleep with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com/booktalk with code BOOKTALK.
That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, and use code BOOKTALK to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
A burst pipe. A dead water heater. The AC calling it quits. Who do you call? HomeServe is an easy way to handle unexpected home repairs with plans covering stuff basic homeowners insurance usually won't. Instead of scrambling for a contractor, you make one call to get the repair process started. Join the millions of customers who trust HomeServe right now. Go to homeserve.com/podcast for 50% less your first year. That's homeserve.com/podcast. Savings compared to renewal price. Void in Florida.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.